Recently, I was a part of a collab on David Vink's channel talking about a JRPG that I regret buying. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the description so you can go check it out. But it got me thinking about other JRPGs I regretted buying over the years. So in this video, I'll be sharing 7 JRPGs that I regret buying. But one game you won't regret playing, and is the sponsor for today's video, is Honkai Impact 3rd. This is a dazzling 3D action game that comes from the team at HoYoverse, who brought us the mega hit Genshin Impact and the upcoming Honkai Star Rail. On April 6th, the game is launching its huge version 6.5 update with tons of cool new features. For me, the 3 things I'm most looking forward to are the new characters, events, and costumes. In this update, Susanna will become the elegant dancing diva Valkyrie Quicksand. I gotta say, I love her outfit and combat style. There's also the Meowtown Escapade, where you can earn a new uniform, crystals, a Valkyrie Quicksand fragment, and much more. And also, I dare you to resist the allure of this new Peachy Spring outfit. To me, that's a 10 out of 10 design. The game is both free to play and cross-play across PC, iOS, and Android. And if you use my link with the code NEWCHAP, you'll receive 30 crystals, 2,888 Asterites, and 1 character trial card for free. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description or pinned comment and start your Honkai Impact 3rd adventure today. Alright, we're going to kick this list off with White Knight Chronicles 2. Now, I know there's a lot of love for this game, but I want to give this particular entry some context because I feel like it's really important when it comes to why I regret buying it. Now, for those that don't remember, JRPGs in the PS3 era, it was a really bad time to be a JRPG fan. There were just so few of them, and the ones that we did get were really low quality. And even the big franchises were non-existent. We didn't have any Kingdom Hearts games, no Dragon Quest, and well, we all know about Final Fantasy 13. To say the least, JRPG fans were desperate for something good. Then we heard about a new one from Level 5. They made great games like Dark Cloud, Dragon Quest VIII, and Rogue Galaxy, so what could go wrong? And when I saw White Knight Chronicles 2, I pretty much bought it sight unseen. That said, I probably should have read some of the reviews. When I started playing it, it had this weird MMO-style combat and emphasis on multiplayer and town building. To say the least, this was just not what I was looking for at all. I was just hoping for a good old classic JRPG. Instead, I got this mess. I've never returned a game faster, or rather I had to trade it in because I couldn't return it. In the end, it cost me $30 to sit through this miserable game. Oh boy, Star Ocean, Integrity, and Faithlessness. I feel the pain just thinking about this. Now, to me, this game is just bad for so many reasons. The story overall wasn't very interesting, the characters were pretty bland, it had this weird camera wherever you ran that it would kind of bounce up and down with you, and it just got nauseating, not to mention those damn missions where you have to protect the character typing at the computer. I can only think of a few times where I've raged harder at a video game. Now, that being said, this wasn't the main reason I regretted buying it. When this came out, this was one of those times where another competing game released very closely together, and that was Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Now, despite loving the concept and the team that made it, I made a snap judgment about it for whatever reason after looking at some gameplay, and I just wanted to stay away from it. To say the least, I chose poorly. Tokyo Mirage Sessions was a way better game. It had a great cast of characters, a cool setting, neat combat, and great music. This was such a good game that I bought it twice, both on Wii U and on Nintendo Switch. Ironically though, I never ended up beating it on either system, but it is for sure a way better game than Star Ocean. It pains me to do this, but I'm going to have to put 2 Gus games in a row, starting with Knights of Azure 2. Now, this is the most video game-ass video game there ever was. You just go through a level fighting enemies, there's a boss at the end, you'll have stories, and rinse and repeat to the end of the game. Maybe with a little sprinkle of fan service too. Now, overall, the game was actually not that bad, but to me, the problem was the Switch port. Low frame rates, didn't look that great, and oh my god, the crashes. I don't think I've ever played a game that crashed on me so many times like this one here. It crashed no less than a dozen times, if not way more. It was frustrating because, like I said, I kind of liked the game, I was getting into the combat, I kind of enjoyed the characters, but the crashes were so constant that it made it nearly impossible to enjoy. Somehow I was able to finish it, and thankfully probably because it was pretty short. I regret buying it on the Switch because I probably should have looked it up on other systems or just watched reviews to see what people were saying about it. But I didn't, and now I regret it. And the second Gus game on this list is Atelier Meruru, specifically the Switch port. Again, I have the same reason for having it on this list. It would just crash at the same cutscene every single time without fail. And the really unfortunate thing for me was I paid full price for this game on day one. Now, I have this little Christmas break RPG tradition that I have where on Christmas break, I'll buy an RPG and just kind of know life a game and enjoy the break and just kind of have a nice time with it. However, this game ruined that tradition for me because this was going to be my game and I couldn't play it because it was literally broken. Now, eventually they did patch it, but I had long since moved on and I felt like I just had my money wasted. And it's unfortunate because I actually enjoyed the game. It had a good balance of quest-based progression that the Arlen trilogy was known for, but it was a little bit more balanced and more relaxed with the time limit. Not to mention all the characters are just super cute. But let this be a lesson. Never buy a game sight unseen before reading reviews or watching reviews. You just never know what's going to happen. By the way, if you're enjoying the video and like JRPGs and want more like this, liking the video helps out a ton, and maybe consider subscribing if you want to see more. Now, Thousand Arms is probably a game for newer JRPG players that you don't even know about, but let me explain what it is. This was one of the earliest JRPGs to blend RPG gameplay with dating sim elements. The deeper connection you would build with characters, the more benefits you would receive in combat and with crafting. Now, I gotta be honest, I didn't play far enough into the game to experience this, but allow me to recount my experience of playing the game with you. So the game opens, it's very directionless. I'm just kind of walking around trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do, not to mention the character sprite looks like absolute crap, and trying everything I can to figure out what I'm supposed to do next. I ended up just leaving the town, getting into a fight, and dying in one hit. I then proceeded to turn the PlayStation off, remove the game, and never play it again. Now, I've heard nothing but good things about this game, and if I had more patience, I probably would have enjoyed it. It sounds like a game that's right up my alley. However, at the time, I was trying to collect every PS1 JRPG. In fact, there's an old video on the channel where I unbox a bunch of PS1 JRPGs, and you can go find it. I'll link it down in the description. And basically what I was trying to do is play a little bit of all of them just to say that I played all the PS1 JRPGs. If I were to go back with a fresh perspective and try playing it again, I would probably enjoy it. To say the least, it's nothing more than a paperweight now. All right, next, another one that I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for, and that is Dragon Quest VII, specifically the 3DS remake. Again, let me provide a little context. This was in an era where publishers were constantly threatening to discontinue series in the West unless we bought every game that came out. Tales and Dragon Quest were the biggest victims during this time. And because I wanted to support JRPGs and I wanted more to come out, I just bought this game simply to support it. And then I played it. I know it's considered a classic and it's the best-selling PlayStation 1 game in Japan, but I just couldn't stand it. It was so slow and so boring. The combat is ridiculously basic, and there were way better JRPGs coming out at the same time, like Bravely Default, that did it way better. And for the story and characters, I just didn't care about anything that was happening. And apparently it's also really long. Ironically, I recently sold my copy and ended up making some good money on it because it's selling for a lot on eBay right now. Maybe I don't regret buying it as much as I thought I did. Regardless, it's still a game I didn't enjoy, but I'm glad it's going to a home where someone will enjoy it more than I did. Lastly, and absolutely least, we have Trails of Cold Steel. My disdain for this game is well documented on this channel, but my regret isn't quite what you might think. When I originally played Cold Steel 1, it was on the Vita, immediately after finishing Persona 5. In comparison, it's obviously an inferior game in almost every way, but people kept talking about how amazing it was, and I just didn't get it. However, years later, they remastered it for PlayStation 4 with a ton of new features. With some time between my original playthrough, I decided to give it a try with a fresh perspective. And here's where the regret comes in. I have massive OCD when it comes to my gaming shelf. Shocking, I know. Now, the North American release was only a steelbook, and I hate steelbooks. To me, I love looking at my shelf and having all the spines look exactly the same, so I just couldn't have a steelbook. I'm so OCD, in fact, that I ended up making custom sleeves when they changed from the Spider-Man font to the current PS3 font, and I even swapped out red 3DS cases to white ones, again, so they would all look the same on the shelf. I know I have a major problem. But back to my point, I imported a European version of Cold Steel on PS4, and it was probably much more expensive than a normal retail release in America. And so I played through it again, and I still hated it. It was much more tolerable with turbo mode and all the new features, but it still wasn't all that enjoyable for me. I don't think I've ever bought a game that I hate twice, but hey, I guess there's a first time for everything. Now, if this video got your blood boiling a little bit and you just need to chill out, make sure you check out this video here where I talk about 10 relaxing JRPGs that I'm sure you'll enjoy. And special thanks to Reset Switch, Tyler Kuzawa, and the Miyazaki Man for supporting me over on Patreon. To get exclusive videos and other cool perks, consider supporting me over on patreon.com/thegamingshelf. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.